Hello, my stamping friends. Brenda Hillard here at createwithbrenda.com. Today I have a wedding card for us. It's a fun fold, and it's a good way to use up some of that designer series paper. So when I open it, like I said, it's a wedding card. Got my pretty matching envelope. I'm using the Country Floral Lane. I always want to say Country Lane, and it's Country Floral Lane designer series paper by Stampin' Up. And I use lots of different sentiment sets and whatever. I'll show you what I've used. But so the fun fold opens like this and then like this. So it's got love. Love knows no boundaries. Congratulations, you two. Isn't it a cute, fun fold? I love it. So let's start with, I have a piece of, and don't worry about measurements, I'll put them down below in the video description. A piece of designer series paper that's 5 1/4 by 12. So almost a half a sheet of designer series paper. I have another piece that measures 2 1/2 by 6. I have a piece of sweet sorbet that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have 2 sweet sorbet squares. These are 2 3/4 inch square, along with 2 basic white that are 2 1/2 inches square, a medium envelope, and then I have my insert piece that measures 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so let's get started with our card. And to start, we're actually going to do our envelope, because you know me and the envelope thing, no naked envelopes. I love either stamping, putting paper, something on those envelopes, because the party has to be on the outside as well as on the inside. Just lining up that 2 1/2 inch by 6 inch piece of designer series paper. I'm just going to give it a good press there so it stays down. And then we'll take our snips, and I'm going to go right around the flap. And if you've watched my previous videos, you've seen me do this lots of times, just because I think this pretty flap on the envelope is so just such a nice touch to our finished card. And with a wedding card, we want it to be kind of fancy, right? Okay, so our next step on the card is going to be to score our designer series paper. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer and scoring tool. The light gray is my score. I have to open up the arm because we are going to, I have lots of stuff here. We are going to score this at 2 inches, 4 inches. These are so easy to remember because they're whole. 6 whole numbers. I should finish my statement. And then 8. Oops, and I have all of my measurement, or my ruler off the top, but you know, just make sure that your paper is pressed all the way to the top edge here, and score lightly, because this is, the designer series paper is of course thinner than our cardstock, so you don't want to tear your paper. All right, so now we're going to fold just like accordion style. I'm going to get my bone folder, because whenever we do fun folds, we want to make sure that our folds are nice and crisp, okay? So I'm going to fold back again, and then one more time. So it's just back and forth like an accordion, okay? All right, so our next step is we can put adhesive on the back. I'm going to use my stamp and seal. And I'm just going to put this down on our sweet sorbet that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I just want to center that on our card base. Okay. Give that a good burnish on. So our card is going to be like this. All right. Next step is I have a little thing that I do with my designer series paper. Like when I punch it out or when I fussy cut it out, I like to back it on a piece of cardstock just to help firm it up so it's not quite so flimsy. And to do that, I take a piece of the adhesive sheets, and these come in 6 by 12, but you can see that I've just got a little remnant piece here. So I'm going to take that off. And I don't want to take this whole thing off because my paper isn't that big. So I just want to lay this down on my adhesive sheet. I'm going to put this one back down, and I'm just going to put this edge so that I don't have any sticky surface sticking out. It just makes it a lot easier when I trim this, that it doesn't get all over my cutting blades. All right, so I'm just going to put this in. And if you're wondering about my tiny little trimmer here, this was a celebration item, gosh, I bet you 3-4 years ago already. But I cannot believe how handy this little thing has been for doing. I'm going to save this because I'll use it for something else. But this trimmer has been very handy for just little things like that, or trimming the edge of a card. We've all had that where once we crease our card base and it's not exactly even. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the other backing off, and it's made this piece of cardstock into a sticker, or sticky, I should say. I'm going to line it up on the edge. And I do, before I punch it, want to just cut away this exposed sticky. And you can see that I left enough designer series paper that I can just cut that away. All right, so now I've got this piece that looks like this. I'm going to bring in my punch, just like so. And this punch, I do believe, has sold out, but it is not hard to fussy cut these out either. So if you didn't get the punch, you can always fussy cut, okay? All right, so now instead of having just designer series paper, I actually have cardstock on the backs of those, and it'll help them just set up nicer. I've done the same thing where I peeled the sticky and have the cardstock, and now I want to just fussy cut a couple of these hearts. I just think they're so pretty. And you remember with fussy cutting, you always turn your paper and kind of keep your scissor in the same position. Okay. So there's one of our hearts. And then I want to just do one more here. so pretty. I just love the colors in here too. Okay, there's our second heart. I just kind of want to round the tops of our hearts, so I don't want those little pointed pieces. Okay, so there's our parts for that. I'm just going to move those to the side. Let's bring in these Stitched with Whimsy. I love, love, love these dies. So on our 3 3/4 by 5, I've already run this through my full size Stampin' Cut and Emboss. You just lay it down. It doesn't cut anything out, but it makes that stitched impression that you can see around the edge. And so that's the one for our insert. And let's take this one. So the third, you know, the largest of the squares. We're going to bring in our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And for those of you that joined my team during celebration, you have the blue boho. You guys picked the blue. All right. I'm going to lay down one of our, this is a 2.5 inch square. And I have 2 of them. So I'm just going to do this first one. I've got my plate number 1. I'm going to pull back plate number 2, and then I'll put my paper, my die, the other plate number 2. Oops. I'm just going to advance that forward so that I have this E looking piece there. You don't want your plates lined up evenly. And then I'm just going to roll this through. And you set these up the same way you would a die cut, except they don't cut out anything. You just get that fun little whimsy on there. Just like that. And again, we will run it through. Just like that. It just adds that little bit to the card. I'll show you our sample here again in just a second. All right, I'm going to move this off to the side. I like using this rubber shelf liner under my cut and emboss machines. It just keeps it from sliding. All right, so let's take some Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to center these on our squares. See how you can see that little stitching around? Isn't it cute? Same with this one. Okay. And then on one of these, I want to take Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm just going to add, dimensionals to the back. And I'm keeping them up to the top because I want to be able to slide those leaves that we punched out. So I'm going to put this on like that. Now before I go any further, I want to stamp. And the stamp that I'm going to use is from the Fragrant Flowers, and I just want this little love right here, okay? So let's bring in Mossy Meadow. That's one of our coordinating colors. And I need just that little love stamp. I'm going to ink it up. I do have photopolymer this time, so I'm going to get my stamping mat, my foam mat, and I'm just going to stamp right in the bottom corner here, just like that. Okay, while I have this out, I'm going to bring in our second square. And on this one, I'm going to take the sentiment from Picturesque. Love knows no boundaries. Isn't that a perfect sentiment for a wedding card? And this one, I'm just going to stamp right down here in the bottom right corner. All right, so there's our squares. And let's bring in our inside. Since we're stamping, might as well stamp everything, right? So I'm gonna next stamp congratulations. And I took that from the art gallery stamp set right here. Sometimes it's kind of fun, well, all the time it's kind of fun to go through and see what kind of sentiments you can mix and match, right? So there's our congratulations. I love that. I love that, congratulations. And then last but not least, I'm going to take this U2 TWO from the Kind and Sincere out of our January through April mini. So let's grab that. That one happens to be a red rubber, but it's not going to matter that I have my stamping mat or my foam pad underneath. Okay, so there we have. Congratulations, you two. So cute. I love this. All right, let's go back to decorating our little squares here. So I want to bring in, this was the heart that we punched, and I'm just going to add a little bit of Stamp and Seal to the back. And then I'm going to put that on here at an angle. And then I want to put some Stamp and Seal on one of our leaves. And I'm just going to have that kind of pop out here. And our other leaf. And that pops out here. Okay, so that's our front. This is going to be that second piece on the inside. So on this one, I want to pop both of these up on dimensionals. So I'm going to just do one because I want that other one to kind of tuck under. So there's one. And this one I want to just tuck under there a little bit. Maybe that's too far. There we go. Just like that. All right, we're ready to assemble this part. I have come up with a way that I think works pretty well for this. So is what I want to do first is I want to take my 3 3/4 by 5 panel for the back, and I'm just going to add, I can see my Stamp and Seal is getting down there. Can you see the red warning tape there? I think we'll be okay though for this one. If not, I have another one locked and loaded, ready to go. All right, I'm just gonna put that down right here, just like that. I want just that little bit of the cardstock too, or the designer series paper to peek out. Now these, when we close it, we only want to we want it centered on our card. So we only want to put adhesive on this side, okay? And so I just kind of have my thumb or my finger right there where I want it to be. So I'm going to do we'll do three lines of adhesive. And I'm just going to center that right here on the card where I want it. Okay. And then to do this one, I know I have to do the same thing. So I'm going to do 3 lines of adhesive. And then I'm going to, and we want it to go on this next fold. So I'm going to line this up with the one that I just put on the top. We'll just match up our edges really nice. There we go. And then I can just press it down. And then give it a good burnish so I know it's going to stay on. And now when we open our card, we've got the love. Love knows no boundaries. Congratulations, you two. All right, now we need sparkle, right? What's a wedding card without some sparkle? So I'm going to bring in, I love these. These are the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. And I'm just going to decorate up a little bit. I want a couple of them right here. And then maybe I'll just do a medium size one up here at the top. And let's look at this inside here. The inside, I think, just needs a couple of the littles down there, and we'll put, well, let's go with a medium right over here. And then on our back page, we'll do a medium, a little. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have a new order coming today. I'm so excited about it. It's the Kaleidoscope card kits. And I think they may be here. And if they are, I may be popping on for a Facebook Live today. All right, there is our finished card. I love this fold. And like I said, you have the beauty of the Designer Series papers. And of course, the matching envelope. And then here was the original. Okay, you guys, have a great day. I hope you'll give this a try. I hope I've inspired you. All products used in today's video are available for purchase in my online store, so check them out there. I would love to earn your business. My March host code is right up here. Please add that to any of your orders at checkout that are under $150. If you're over $150, you will still receive my host code or my host gift and earn your own Stampin' Rewards. So that's why you don't want to add it if your order is over $150. Any questions, just reach out. I'm here for you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.